Every morning, the first rays of sunlight slice through the car window, waking Aaliyah up. This isn't just a car. It's her bedroom, her closet, her entire world packed into a few square feet. Each day begins with the same meticulous routine. Folding the blanket, deflating the air mattress, stashing everything in the trunk. It's a practiced, almost robotic sequence. She has to be quick, has to be invisible before the rest of the world wakes up. And the parking lot fills with cars belonging to people who have homes to go back to. From the outside, you'd never guess her secret. Aaliyah pulls out a crisp, ironed blouse from a garment bag hanging from the grab handle. She changes in the cramped space, a contortionist act she's perfected over months. A quick glance in the rearview mirror, a touch of makeup, a professional smile, practiced to perfection. By the time she walks into her office, she's just another employee, ready to tackle her full-time job. No one sees the exhaustion behind her eyes, the constant low-level anxiety that hums beneath her calm exterior. They see a capable colleague, not a woman who spent the night sleeping in a cold car. Her colleagues chat about weekend plans, home renovations, and what day having for dinner. Aaliyah nods and smiles, a ghost in their conversation. Her reality is a world away. Lunch isn't in the bustling break. It's a pre-packed sandwich eaten alone in her driver's seat, the engine off to save gas. The gym isn't for a workout. It's her bathroom. The 30-minute shower a luxury she times to the second. Every dollar is counted, every expense scrutinized. It's a life of survival, lived in the margins of society, a tightrope walk between maintaining her job and having nowhere to call home. This invisible struggle is a heavy burden, a secret that isolates her more than any four walls ever could. One evening, sitting in her car as dusk settled over the city, a thought sparked in Aaliyah's mind. She was tired. Tired of the hiding, tired of the loneliness, tired of the silent scream that no one could hear. She looked at her phone, the device that connected her to a world she felt so disconnected from. What if she just told them? What if she showed them the reality behind the carefully constructed image? It was a terrifying idea. The fear of judgment, of losing her job, of being seen as a failure, was but the exhaustion was stronger. With trembling hands, she propped her phone on the dashboard. "Hi everyone," she began, her voice barely a whisper. "My name is Aaliyah, and this is my home." She panned the camera around the cramped interior of her car, showing the makeshift bed, the cooler that served as her fridge, the neatly stacked containers of her belongings. She decided to document everything. She filmed herself at the gym, not on the treadmill, but in the showers, explaining that this was the only way she could stay clean for work. She filmed her dinner, a can of soup heated on a tiny portable stove in a deserted corner of a park. She spoke with a raw honesty that she hadn't allowed herself in months. She talked about the financial crisis that led her here, the rising cost of living that pushed her out of her apartment, and the crushing weight of trying to appear normal every single day. She wasn't asking for pity. She was simply sharing her truth, pulling back the curtain on a reality that thousands of people face in silence. After filming, she hesitated for a long time, her thumb hovering over the post button. It felt like standing on the edge of a cliff. Taking a deep breath, she uploaded the video. Then, she turned off her phone, too scared to see the reaction. When she turned her phone back on the next morning, it was almost unusable. Notifications flooded her screen, thousands of them. Her heart pounded as she opened the app. She braced for the worst to hate, the trolling, the cruel comments. And yes, there were some, but they were drowned out by a notion of something she never expected. Support, comment after comment poured in. "You're so brave. I had no idea people were going through this. I lived in my car for 6 months. You're not alone." People shared their own stories of hardship, of hitting rock bottom and climbing back up. They offered words of encouragement, virtual hugs, and genuine compassion. It was overwhelming. Aaliyah sat in her car and cried, but for the first time in a long time, they were tears of relief, not despair. She wasn't invisible anymore. People saw her. They heard her. The video wasn't just a collection of clips. It had become a beacon. It resonated with people on a deeply human level, touching a nerve that many didn't even know was exposed. The view count climbed relentless light in 1,000, 50,000, 100,000. Her small act of courage had started a conversation far bigger than she could have ever imagined. She had found a community in the most unexpected of places, a digital village that wrapped its arms around her. The next 24 hours were a whirlwind. Aaliyah's story didn't just stay on social media. It exploded. Local news blogs picked it up first. Then citywide news channels called for interviews. By the end of the day, her face was on major news websites across the country. The headline was always some version of the same thing: the hidden homelessness of the working poor. Her personal story had become a symbol of a much larger societal issue. The world that had been oblivious to her struggle was now paying full attention. The most shocking call came from an unknown number. It was the Human Resources Department from her own company. Aaliyah's stomach dropped. This was it. The moment she had feared. But the voice on the other end wasn't angry. It was concerned. Her employer had an employee relief fund, something she never knew existed. They had seen her story and wanted to help. It felt surreal, like a dream. The company she had worked so hard to hide her situation from was now reaching out to offer a lifeline. The support didn't stop there. A GoFundMe page that a supporter had started for her went viral alongside the video. Donations poured in from strangers around the globe. People moved by her courage and resilience. Small amounts and large amounts, each one a message that you mattered. Within days, the fund grew to an amount that was truly life-changing. It was enough for a deposit on an apartment, for furniture, for a safety net that would allow her to finally breathe. It was more than just money. It was a collective act of kindness from thousands of people who refused to let her struggle alone. Standing in her new apartment for the first time, Aaliyah ran her hand along a smooth, empty wall. It was quiet. It was safe. It was hers. The key felt heavy and real in her palm. The journey from her car to this room was one she never could have predicted. It started with a moment of vulnerability, a decision to speak her truth into the void of the internet. That single act of bravery had a ripple effect, transforming not only her own life, but also opening the eyes of many to the invisible struggles happening all around them. Aaliyah's story is a powerful reminder that you never truly know what someone is going through behind their smile. It's a testament to the fact that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Her life was no longer about just surviving. It was about living. She still worked the same job, but now, at the end of the day, she could turn a key in a lock and say, "I'm home." Her journey continues, but now she walks it with stability beneath her feet and the support of a community that saw her when she felt most invisible. Thank you for watching. If you were moved by Aaliyah's story, please like and subscribe for more content that matters.